In this lesson, we're going to be solving multi-step equations. So we are going to combine our equation solving skills and our distributive property skills in some of these equations. So let's look at our first example. So notice here in this equation we have parentheses. So whenever you see an equation with parentheses, we're still going to draw our line for our equal sign, but then we're going to use that distributive property to simplify before we do any solving. So first I need to distribute this 2 into the parentheses. So each piece inside the parentheses is going to be multiplied by 2. So I have 2 times 10, which is 20, plus 2 times t, which is 2t. So I have 20 plus 2t as the result of the distributive property. So now my equation is 20 plus 2t equals 42. So to figure out how to solve, I want to look at where my variable is, and with my variable I have this 20 out front. So the 20 is positive and I need to move it to get it away from the variable. So since it's positive, I'm going to do the opposite and I'm going to subtract it. So minus 20 on both sides, and that cancels it out over here on the left. By doing it on the right as well, we keep it equal. So 42 minus 20 is 22. On the other side, we did not use the variable, so we bring down that positive to t. So my final step to get this t by itself is going to be to get rid of this multiplication by 2. So the opposite is going to be to divide by 2. If I divide by 2 on one side, I have to do it on the other as well. So I'm left with t equals 11. So I'm still going to check this answer to make sure that it is correct. So over here, where my check is, I'm going to plug it in. So my original equation was 2 times 10 plus t equals 42. So what I need to do is plug this in. So that'll be 2 times 10 plus 11. And then I want to make sure that this is equal. So 10 plus 11 is 21. 21 times 2 is 42. On the other side, we only had that number, so now I know that I am correct. The correct answer is 11. Multi-step equations can also be used to represent situations. So here we have a word problem. The word problem says the length of Philip's stride when walking is 4 inches greater than the length of Anne's stride. If it takes Philip 5 steps and Anne 6 steps to walk the same distance, what is the length of Anne's stride? So in this diagram, we have the same distance shown by Philip and Anne. So it only takes Philip 5 steps while it takes Anne 6 steps. So we're going to use the variable s to represent the length of Anne's stride. We also know that Philip's stride is 4 inches greater than Anne's stride. So that is represented by s plus 4, or Anne plus 4. So to write this equation, to represent Philip takes 5 steps, and each step is s plus 4 inches long. For Anne, it takes her 6 steps, and the length of her stride is s. And we know that it's the same distance, so we're going to take these two expressions and set them equal to each other. So on one side of the equation, I have 5 times s plus 4. And on the other side of the equation, I have 6s. So when I look at this equation, the first thing I notice are the parentheses. And I'm going to use the distributive property to take care of those. So on the left side, I'm distributing the 5 to everything inside the parentheses. So I have 5 times s, which is 5s. And then I have 5 times 4, so that'll be plus 20. So 5s plus 20 equals 6s. So now I want to look at where my variables are, and on this one there is 1 on each side. The 5s is with a plus 20 though, so I want to move the 5s away from that 20. So to get rid of 5s, I'm going to subtract 5s from both sides to keep it equal, and that cancels it out over here. So on the other side, I have 6s minus 5s, which gives me 1s. So 1 of Ann's step equals 20. So to get rid of this coefficient of 1, I can divide by 1 on each side. And 20 divided by 1 is 20. So that tells me that Ann's stride is 20 inches. So this question asked me, what is Ann's stride? So Ann's stride is 20 inches. Since it's a word problem, we want to put that into a sentence. So Ann's stride is 20 inches. To check this, we can see if it equals out. So if Ann's stride is 20 inches, that would be 6 times 20, which would tell me that they were walking 120 inches. Let's make sure that Philip goes the same distance in 5 steps. So if Philip's stride is 4 more than Ann's, that means that Philip's stride is 24 inches. So he would have the expression 5 times 24. And if we check that, 5 times 24 is also 120. So they both went 120 inches with Philip taking 5 steps and Ann taking 6.